Hey everyone, it is DP with Alpha Traders back again. I had a little traveling this past week. Uh, had a great beginning of the week, not so great last 2 days. Um, Goes to show you that environment is everything. I'm way more comfortable here at my workstation than I am gone trying to trade and uh, be good, be great, I should say. On top of that, but we're back. We're good. We nailed. We nailed. If you guys are looking at the SPY chart here, we nailed this. We bought right at the bottom, and we rode this thing all the way up. It was a great trade. I think we got like 400% on our SPY calls itself. I mean, there's just so many winners. Roku, Nvidia. I mean, we paid for so much, and I can't. Before I go into the charts and our top five, and going back into getting into the flow, I really want to mention, and I'll put it here in the video so you guys can see it. How the number one rule in alpha traders is don't oversize. There's a line of being a good trader, a reckless trader, a confident trader, and a bad trader. There's a line between all of those. And the good traders are the ones who understand that there's always going to be another play up or down. There's always going to be. I don't need to put my whole capital into one play. If I have $1,000, I don't need to put $1,000 into Tesla, Roku, weekly, especially weekly calls and things like that. The hit rate on weekly calls is much lower than swings. At least in my world. I'm a way better swing trader in option land than I am lottos. When I hit the lottos, it's good and it's nice and big, but I don't size up as much. Say an example would be, we'll just call them SPY lottos. I bought some puts in the 1K challenge, which I hope you guys will join me with. I hope you take your 1K and roll with us, and I want to see your plays too, and I'll post it here in the video. But the 1K to 10K challenge, I'm posting every play, telling you exactly what I'm doing, posting results at the end of the week, how much is in there, how much is not. I want you guys to ride it with me and see if we can't get this 1K to 10K through straight options, calls and puts. Nothing crazy. I mean, nothing special. Nothing. No butterflies. No iron condors. I'll do some of those in my private account, but sometimes I don't feel like there's enough room for people to understand those things yet. So when we teach you, when you get into the room and we start teaching you those things, it's a little better for you. But going back to oversizing, I cannot tell you if you have a $100,000 account and you're doing lottos. I don't use personally. Mine's over 100. Mine's probably at 750,000, 800,000 now. I'm putting in 20 to 30,000 on a lotto. I'm not oversizing and putting 100,000 or 60,000 or 70,000. Now, when it comes to my swings, and I'm super confident in my swings, I'm going to upsize that and put 70, 80, 90, 100,000 into my swings because I believe in the swing. It gives you time. It gives you a buffer. Some guys will be out here peddling lottos and they're saying we're going to lotto this and lotto that, and then they lotto it and they take 8% or 15%, and then they hit a big one for 200% and lights out for the rest of the world. But for me, I like to create 100% trades so that I can sell half at 100%, and then I'm riding free trades. To me, that's how you trade options. And again, I'll go through this more and more videos that I'm working on actually as we speak. But just to give you guys an idea, is you can't oversize, because if you're wrong, for example, I was wrong on Friday and Saturday and I lost probably somewhere in the 70,000 range. But if I wasn't being disciplined with my sizing, I probably would have lost 200,000. And that's a big difference. It's a big difference between 70 and 200. That's a big difference. And that's just for me. For you, that may be, hey, I have an $8,000 account. You're going to buy one of those lottos. Don't try to be a hero. Maybe two of, if the SPY lotto is 79 cents and, you want to buy 10 of them for, whatever that is, 79 cents times 10 contracts off the top of my head. But if you want to buy that, that's way different than saying one contract at 79 cents, you're paying obviously $79. So 790 would be that number for the 10 contracts. So you gotta feel yourself. You gotta feel where you're at, what you're doing, and I can't press the button for you. You can't. Only you can press the button. So stay sized. Understand that swings you can lay into swings a little more than you can lottos. Swings at least give you 3, 6, 8 weeks, whatever that is. Gives you a lot of time to, you don't have to make a decision today, tomorrow, whatever that is. So let's go into this. So common pullback on SPY. Everybody's calling, of course, bears are like, this is a top, this is the top. This is actually not the top. It's just a touch of the top trend line, or just slightly underneath. And now it's a healthy pullback into the 21-day, and possibly, some people want, I think 427.11 here. This is the Ripster clouds. I'm using this more for a visual for you guys. I think the Ripster clouds have a good area. They're also good aesthetically, so they give you a little bit of space and room in seeing what's going on here. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't use a ton of these. Really, the big ones that I use: the 8-day, the 21-day, and the 200. The 50 on SPY is always a good one to use, just because it's such a heavily weighted index. It's hard to get under the 50-day on SPY. If it does, that means it's just going straight down. But for me, I'm usually looking at more order flow. I'm looking at options premium. Looking at momentum, where things are going, what sectors are moving. And that's for me. But to give you guys a visual of where we're at, I like going over charts with you. And notice I try not to do this intraday where I send that video for you guys. I'm literally going through the charts. The first time I've looked at a chart, because I'm looking at premiums and trends and order flow. I'm focusing on other things. So but let's see, here we go. So this is where we're at right now. We are currently at 431.40. Futures currently at, let's see, futures ES is at 4,300 even. So that's fair market value 430.20. So we're already at the 21-day. So it's sitting on the 21-day. Roughly on SPY. This is a big area here. If you fail 430, you definitely, I will definitely be buying the 428s. They're probably going to be like for Friday, so they're probably going to be like $1.80, maybe $1.90. It depends on if we get a relief bounce. I'd love to get a relief bounce back to 431.40, which will be the close from Friday, or even if they want to take it just up slightly, maybe they take it to Thursday's close, which was 432.72. That'd be a great place to short again, because you got to reclaim the 8-day here at 433.67 to even sniff going long, making new longs, I should say. So 430.21, your big one. 427.11 is another big one. I think I was just looking through Twitter actually just now, and my boy Fresh, if you guys see him, at Freshy305, great guy, great trader, really disciplined and understands what he's doing. I think he had some confluence here at 427.11 or 427 area. So it's always good to see other traders have the same idea that you do. I think this is your reversal number right here, 427. It might take a few days to get there, honestly. It's not going to just go down there. It's already been, 1, 2, 3 days down. So I'm actually looking for this to touch the 430.21 and kind of hold here. And then we're going to get a green bounce off of this, maybe after they take some profits and whatnot, get a take profit bounce. And like I said, 432.64 would be a good area, but really the low, 430.92 would be, 431.40 where it closed would be a good number to short. It might go to the low, but I actually like using the close because that's where buyers and sellers were trying to find the imbalance and the balance. This also marks up pretty well confluent with this. This is probably 424.19 is the lowest it's going to go. 424 area, just because there's a huge volume shelf here going to support this, and it's probably going to be ripped back up. But under 427 is 424. I don't expect 424 to go. I think we're going to start a new active sequence, possibly the end of the week. Maybe it's the gap up 7 days from now. Whichever that is going to be a new active sequence. We're going to start moving again. Don't need to look at the 65. The daily tells you everything you need to know. Qs. Actually have not charted this yet, so let's do this together. So daily Qs here. You got the bottom. 357.24. Then you have 362.41 was a high. That's a crazy day. And I was traveling on Friday, so I was kind of out of it. I didn't even realize that move until I just looked at it now. You got the 21-day. This is a good place to go long, in my opinion. It's a good place to try going long, I should say. 354.71, 354.66, whatever, same thing. This could be a good area. Again, I'm looking for this to bounce. This is just 1, 2, 3. Well, technically 4 red raindrops, but we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So after 3 down days, there's usually a take profit area on a lot of swing traders, intraday guys, whatever that is. After 3 down days, you usually, I'm not saying it always happens, but 3 down days, you're probably going to get a pop. You can actually look here, 1, 2, 3, and then boom, reversal. That was the new active sequence. Where else can we find some down 3 days here? This we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this was down, big pullback here. So it's not a perfect science by any means, but it just gives you an idea. But we'll see if it wants to bounce. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, whatever. We'll play it either way. We'll probably let things shake out and then play it off of that. But I would think the 21 day is going to hold here. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, this is the lowest I think Qs get right here, right above the trend line, 350.04. It's a good place to long. You can, if you really are a good, Qs trader, which I'm not actually on the index. I'm not that great of a Qs trader. I've had a couple trades, but I actually stay away from it. The tech names move so well when they move, whether it's up or down. You're better off playing the tech names rather than the Qs. I'll sometimes put some Qs on, but the tech names are just so much stronger. Whereas SPY, it's weighted on tech, banks, travel. It has every piece of junk also in there. So you may not be able to catch the move. You may have banks up one day, but tech is down, and you're pulling SPY down. And it's just it's a little more push pull on SPY. Whereas Qs, I'd rather just play the names. It's easy to play Tesla, Apple, Amazon, stuff like that, Roku when it's rather than the Qs, but. Watch 357. We'll see how it goes. I think we're gonna have a little pullback here. Small caps. I actually punted along. Right. Where are we at here? Right. No, lower. It was right here. Yeah, we went down, and then we reclaimed this. So I think it was about 217. It was about this area right here. Yeah, but right about this area. It's a reclaim, and it showed some power, and then it faked me out and came down. I'm still in it. It's for September, so I'm not sitting here worried. But I do think the IWMs comes and hits this. I love this number. To me, if it gets to 210, I'm going to start my longs. If it gets to 207, oh my gosh, this is I don't think the market's going to let you get to 207. I know it's $7 down, and it's probably going to gap down tomorrow. RTY is. Let me see here. Looking at my other screen, I didn't have RTY up. Rut 2163. Yeah, it would be confluent with that. So I would say 210 is a good area. You probably want to front run it. You probably want to front run it here for a long because this thing's going to rip. To me, I think small caps lead us after big tech earnings. Just like normal, big tech's going to sell off, and then you're going to have small caps running and catching up. It's always a cat and mouse game. You get the banks that start moving, and then you get tech, and then you get the small caps, and then you get the reopens, which I actually don't think the reopens are going to go in this swing. I think there's too much pressure, too much debt, too much Corona fears. And even they were saddled with debt before Corona. They got saddled with more debt with it, and it's just they're probably going to need bailouts. So not a good trade right now. But once IWMs start ripping up, once you get into FOMC at the end of August, I think that's a big downturn. I think we're going to have 6 to 8 weeks of down, especially if they're talking about tapering, which I think they might start to right about then in August or so. We'll see how they turn it out. Let's go to individual names here. Tesla. Playing it to the downside is definitely the way to go. It faked us out a couple times. I mean, I was lucky on the trigger at the open when this ran to 700. We sold all of our stuff once it broke this. We had a bunch of stuff in here, a bunch of lottos and stuff, and we sold a bunch of it here. Same thing happened again. We bought the dip, sold a bunch of it here at probably around 686. And then we just bought some more, as it went down here. We're sitting in some for next week. We actually got to zero on some of them. And that happens. When you buy lottos, you got to expect zero. I mean, that's just literally how things go. I do think earnings here on the 26th. Yeah, 26th post-market. So I do think that Tesla actually might touch this. If Tesla touches this, this is a, like, to me, this is a generational buy for the generation that doesn't have Tesla. Like, if you don't have any Tesla, this right here is like generational buy. If it gets to here, I think it's going to be more like here. It might touch it for a second, but like if you buy shares, I'd put an order for 600, as much as you can afford to put into something, and just hold it for 5 years. This will turn from 600 into 3,000, and you'll be very happy. And you can reference this video as something that told you where to go. Regardless, look at the Anchor VWAP here. You got the Anchor VWAP from the local, is the highest high one. So it was the local up here. That's a level. We'll see if that actually holds. I don't know. Looking at this with you guys, really it's super easy. This 637 goes. You short this. It might open. Tesla might even open up at below this. If it opens up below and then after the first half hour it doesn't reclaim it, then I would just short it to 620s and just let it ride. I mean, you might 620s next week, 600s next week would be good too. You'll capture that time you need. Dailies are telling you everything you need to know. I don't even look at 65s right now. Roku. To me, this is a big W pattern. If you look, big W pattern. Also, you could say that is a cup, and a handle's coming down now. You can also say that it's not as high you would want it, but you could still say, if you wanted, that this is a cup and that's a handle. Cool. However you chartists like to call it. To me, Roku has a little bit more downside. You could see it in this area here. I believe that's the 100-day. But on the 65-minute is where I want to show you guys. Make this a little bigger here. There you go. 397, under 397.36 doesn't reclaim this. It's probably going to open up around 392 tomorrow. Watch for it to bounce. If it doesn't reclaim 400, you can just call it 400. I'm going to call it 398. Then I'm going to short that thing to about 367. But I want to show you guys something on the 65-minute. There's a little bit of confluence here. If you see that, look at this. This is a huge support. Huge. You get to the hourly 200. That's a big support to me anyways. And you can see bounce. So is it going to bounce, dribble? If it does, I think it sees 370. There's some support here on the 65-minute. But if it goes bounce, and it just holds all through this turmoil, day after day, hour after hour, it just holds. I think you're going to get a bounce. I know this sounds crazy, but I think you get a bounce to 410. I really do. I think you can really bounce it here, and then you short it, and then you can just kind of play the ping pong game here until it either breaks down or it breaks above 410. If you're a safer trader, you can do it above 418, 420, whatever you want to do. This 434 is a big number. It always has been. It always will be until it's proven otherwise. Over 434, you can really get another jack up. But I think this is the little handle, and I mean that's crazy. It may not be, but this could be your end of the dip into Roku. We'll see. Zoom. Coronavirus fears. Delta Corona coming back. Hourly 65. It's crazy, these 200s, I'm telling you. Algorithms are smart algorithms. They work, they move, they see patterns. They're mechanics, right? They're mechanical with their buys and sells. And these, you and me are playing against, the graduating class of MIT for the last 25 years. So they probably have a little advantage on us. But we need to play along with them, not against them. So this is one thing about charts I do appreciate, is this 200 EMA on the 65, the hourly, the 10-minute, and the 3-minute. 3-minute scalp, 10-minute scalp, 65. You can weeklies, you can scalp / swing. depending on how you play, and then the daily 200 you can swing against. So if Zoom decide, we actually bought lottos here when it was actually like 358ish, and we bought the 360s on Friday, and we made 100% on them, which was good. Closed them all out. Actually, I think we made like 130 on them to be exact. It breaks through. It's pretty simple here. On the 65 minute, I love Zoom because it's like, if it wants to go, you 65. This takes you to 376. Like, you can get a nice trade out of this. And if it rejects it, well, then you can get 354 out of it. Or if it really wants to go down, switch back to the daily. Now it gives you, come on, bro. There you go. Then it gives you, now we get some ripster clouds and we start seeing this. Bounced here, also confluent with the 100. Crazy how that works sometimes. But you'd be looking at the daily 200 at 344. That would be my area for another bounce. Zoom's not done. Earnings coming up, what? August 30th. I think this is going to run the hell up. I really do. I think they're going to run it up to about 4. I mean, if you look at this thing, like, I would probably say this gap 460. That's what I've been playing on my swings. I have a free position in my 400 calls for August 20th. It's free. I cashed in. I think cashed in at 220%, half of it. So I'm guaranteed profit. So the trade is great. The individual trade is great. Now we just got to see, do we get back to that gap? Okay, Apple, monster. Jesus Christ. I called this move, and I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say it again. I called this freaking move, and it was like, oh, I don't know, monster buy if it gets there. It went. It got there. Look at these upgrades. Jesus Christ, the best company in the world. There's a reason. So, as we look at, there's some confluence here with the 8-day and prior resistance. This is the previous all-time high area. This 145 area breaks down under 145. I think you can get to 140 easy. I would actually buy next week's 143s if it breaks below this, just as a scalp trade into earnings. Earnings here are July 27th. So what does that tell you? July 27th. It looks like they're going to go. This is a big W. It broke out, and it's holding the 8-day. Hold this line. Apple holds this line right here, this former all-time high SR flip. We're going right back up into earnings. We're probably going to get to 160. There's going to be so much buying on it. It's going to be unbelievable. Last one, mouse. Love the mouse. Cash some swings out. Free trade. Cash them out up here. It's really good. I thought that bull flag was really going to break out. I honestly thought it was going to get to 200. I'm not going to lie. But mouse is coming back through the 8-day now. Closed under the 8-day. It's a little vulnerable. Under 178, I'll short this. If it does get 178, I'll probably buy the, for 2-3 weeks from now. Probably buy the 177s. See if it really wants to go down to 200. If it gets down under the 200, that's a big trade. We'll see how the mouse does. But went a little long today. Sorry, I was ranting. Appreciate you guys as always. AlphaTraders.com, Twitter at AlphaTraders Inc. Hit us up. Let us know. We have full-time service, and then we have our SMS scalping service, which is lottos and quick scalps. And you have to expect those to go to zero. You play small. You don't go crazy. Very simple. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Be doing the midday analysis. Hope you guys check in. Don't forget to hit the click like, click subscribe. You'll never want to miss a thing. See you guys this week.